Throughout the annals of history, people of African descent have consistently demonstrated a profound capacity for resilience, ingenuity, and determination. From the time of the transatlantic slave trade to the era of achievement in various fields, the Black community has continually shown an unwavering ability to adapt, learn, and thrive in the face of overwhelming adversity. This unyielding spirit has given rise to countless unsung heroes and heroines who, armed with nothing but their innate intelligence and unrelenting drive, have defied the odds and achieved greatness. One such remarkable individual is Brian Misi Mwenda Njagi from Kenya, a man with an unassuming presence who has left an indelible mark on the annals of history. In 2023, Brian Mwenda Njagi made headlines for impersonating a lawyer who goes by the name Brian Mwenda Ntwiga and would win 26 different court cases in a matter of weeks into the practice.
Kenyan authorities arrested 2 people masquerading as lawyers in recent days, including one who racked up an impressive courtroom winning streak after allegedly stealing the identity of a real attorney. The first fake lawyer, who used the name of real lawyer Brian Mwenda, had won all 26 cases he handled in various courtrooms, while posing as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, despite being untrained.
Without the benefit of a formal training in law, he had navigated the complex and often treacherous landscape of the courtroom with ease, winning numerous cases and leaving many in awe of his natural aptitude and bravery.
Kenya's Organization of Trade Unions reportedly praised the imposter as a brilliant young mind who has succeeded without traditional qualifications. Mike Sonko, a former governor of Nairobi, who was removed from office after being entangled in corruption charges, also offered his support, posting a video with the purported fraudster.
What's even more astonishing is that when he was prosecuted in court, he had defended himself without the need of a lawyer and won, bringing his total of wins to 27 victories.
Homie won 26 straight cases, no formal legal training. And it's like, are we really supposed to believe the law is like perfect? Are we really supposed to believe that this system is like infallible? It's like, no, in many instances it's made up. Who's got the better lawyer? Who's more charismatic? Who can poke holes in arguments the best? Like the truth has no real bearing on what happens in many instances. And look, I don't know, here's my take. I don't know if it's controversial. I'd like for them to investigate the stolen identity thing, because that's a real crime. If you could prove that there's some malicious intent there and it was a set of facts that's unacceptable, you can lock them up on that front. But if what happened there is like some dude was dead and he took his name and nobody really got hurt, and then he also won these 26 straight cases and he was pretending to be a lawyer, just give him the law degree. Just give him the law degree. He knows what he's good. He knows what he's doing, right? Like he's good at this.
In this video, we will be revealing one of the great stories of Black excellence, bringing to light the daring spirit of Brian Mwenda Njagi, who bravely challenged the status quo, navigating the complex courtroom with unshakable confidence. His remarkable tale of triumph against all odds is a testament to the unyielding bravery and determination that defines the Black community. As we delve into this intriguing documentary, kindly support our works by clicking on the thumb button in front of you. Share video with friends, families, and everyone that you possibly can to keep spreading our eye-opening Black narrative, and subscribe to stay tuned in if you are yet to. Now, to the stunning story. In the bustling city of Nairobi, Kenya, a peculiar figure emerged in the legal scene. He was a man with an unassuming presence, yet an aura of confidence that commanded attention. Being the son of Mr. Arnold Njagi of Nairobi City, Kenya, Brian Mwenda Njagi's exploits in the courtroom has made him a legend. With no formal training in law, this mysterious individual began taking on cases, leaving many to wonder how he managed to navigate the intricate web of jurisprudence with such ease. His methods were unorthodox, his arguments innovative, and his victories numerous. However, a shocking rumor began to circulate. He had assumed the identity of a licensed attorney, using stolen credentials to gain access to the hallowed halls of justice, writing asset sale agreements, overseeing affidavits, composing letters to bloggers who expose criminals, also helping people with their divorce papers, cross-examining witnesses starting with, "I put it to you that," representing Kenyans in courts, winning cases and all. Meanwhile, Brian Mwenda Ntwiga, the unwitting victim of identity theft, attempted to access the Law Society of Kenya LSK portal, only to discover a disturbing anomaly. An account bearing a name similar to his was already there, and his was nowhere to be found. After a series of intense research by him and the personnel in charge of handling the site, it was discovered that the existing account in the name of Brian Wendenjagi was that of an imposter, whereas the real account that bore the names, Brian Wendentwiga, had been altered alongside other crucial details, including the email address and profile picture. As Brian Wendentwiga struggled to regain control of his compromised account, he reached out to the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, for assistance. But the response he received was both startling and unsettling. Officials from the LSK revealed that they had been alerted to a potential breach as far back as September, leaving Brian wondering how this security lapse had gone undetected for so long. The revelation raised more questions than answers. How had the imposter managed to evade detection for months? What other sensitive information had been compromised during this time? And most pressing of all, what had motivated this individual to assume Brian's identity in the first place? Initial investigations indicate that the imposter utilized a common international fraud scheme known as business email compromise, whereby a criminal scammer sends an email that appears to come from a known source making a legitimate request. The scammer might spoof an email account or website, send spear phishing emails, or use malware to gain undetected access to a victim's data, including passwords and other financial account information. In a bid to help resolve the issue, the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, issued a public statement to address the escalating situation. On the 5th day of August, 2022, Brian Wendentwiga was admitted to the bar, and the information supplied upon admission was picked from the JAM system, and his correct email address was captured, and an account opened for him in the Advocates portal. Nonetheless, a public statement from the Law Society of Kenya would read as follows. We have since reached out to Advocate Brian Wendentwiga, who confirmed that he had not applied for a practicing certificate since his admission, reason being that he had been working at the Office of the Attorney General and did not require a practicing certificate. The Council of the Law Society recognizes that masqueraders pose a serious threat to the practice of law and is determined to take decisive action to deal with this issue. We call on members to remain vigilant and inform the Secretariat or their respective branches of any cases of suspected masqueraders for investigation and apprehension. Thus was stated on the page of the Law Society of Kenya on October 12, 2023, on official X. Njagi's audacity didn't stop at merely assuming a false identity. He had gone on to represent clients in various courts, including magistrates, the Court of Appeal, and the High Court. Reports initially suggested that he had won 26 cases, a claim that added to the sensationalism of his story. Despite the controversy surrounding his persona, one thing remained indisputable. The man was a force to be reckoned with in the courtroom. His razor-sharp mind, coupled with an uncanny ability to think on his feet, made him a formidable opponent for even the most seasoned lawyers. Defying the LSK's warnings about Mr. Njagi's alleged deception, his devoted fans remained steadfast in their support. Undeterred by the controversy, they rallied around him, demonstrating their unwavering loyalty and commitment to standing by him, no matter the cost. Among them is Mr. Francis Atwoli, Secretary General of Kenya's Central Organization of Trade Unions, who in a statement on Saturday described Mr. Njagi as a young and brilliant Kenyan who has recently faced condemnation for practicing law without the traditional law qualifications.
If indeed it's true that Brian has been practicing law and successfully representing clients in legal matters, we strongly advocate for a fair and transparent examination to test his knowledge, skills, and competency in the field of law,
said Mr. Atwoli. The veteran labor leader also called on the Kenyan government to recognize the talent of young people who have acquired expertise through informal education. He said that Mr. Njagi's case was not unique, and added,
I know of many great engineers, accountants, teachers, IT experts, cybersecurity experts, and paramedics who are specialists in their areas of interest, yet without any paper to show for their qualifications.
Arnold Njagi, father of the young man in question, had come out also to defend his son, saying that Brian Wendenjagi is a qualified lawyer, having pursued a diploma course in criminology in 2016.
He pursued a diploma course in criminology, which enabled him to join Strathmore University in 2017, and graduate in 2020. In 2021, he joined the Kenya School of Law and completed in December 2022. His first case was representing a family member in court. He made an application for appeal, but unfortunately there was no response to his application. So he has been working in Nairobi until recently, when he told me that some people were claiming that he is not a qualified lawyer.
Arnold Nyagi revealed. Mr. Mike Sonko, the former governor of Nairobi, Kenya, and a polarizing figure, also showed his support by posting a video featuring the individual on X social media platform on a Friday that same month. As a controversial politician, Sonko's endorsement was significant, given his influence and reputation in Nairobi. Standing next to Mr. Sonko, Njagi, the imposter, tried to sway public opinion in his favor, expressing gratitude to his supporters and vowing to clear his name and prove his innocence in due time.
I would like to convey my gratitude to the people that are supporting me and praying for me. In the fullness of time, I will be able to clear this misunderstanding. I will also be able to prove my innocence and provide the actual context.
Mr. Sonko, a politician who has faced allegations of drug trafficking and money laundering, publicly endorsed the imposter, Njagi, stating that he would hire Njagi as his future lawyer. In a bold move, Sonko labeled Njagi's critics as nincompoops, while also debunking claims that Njagi was a masquerader, emphasizing that the young man had never taken anyone's life and was not a terrorist. In a subsequent video posted on Mr. Sonko's X account on Tuesday morning that week, Mr. Njagi said they were awaiting instructions on where to report his statement to the authorities. He added,
"This is a declaration for purposes of record that I am not a fugitive. I am a law-abiding citizen, and I am not going anywhere. Any place that I am needed, I will go."
Njagi explained that he wanted to pay for his practicing certificate but couldn't because the email address on their system was incorrect. LSK duly changed it, allowing Njagi to take control of Ntwiga's profile in September. After amending the profile picture and workplace address, he immediately started practicing as Brian N. Mwenda and, according to local media, took on and won 26 cases in a matter of weeks. Replying to Mr. Sonko's posts, some users dubbed Mr. Njagi Kenya's Mike Ross after the character in the popular U.S. legal series Suits, who practiced law at a top New York law firm despite not having graduated college or having a law degree. Regardless, the prosecutions of the Secretary General of Kenya's Central Organization of Trade Unions, Renson Mulele Ngonga, Kenya's Director of Public Prosecutions, said that the man would face prosecution. He also announced to the general public that he had directed the Inspector General of the National Police Service to undertake expedited comprehensive investigations. Mr. Ngonga noted that this case wasn't unique, as he had noticed increased cases of unqualified persons pretending to be advocates of the High Court of Kenya. The matter ultimately reached its conclusion after thorough research confirmed Njagi's true identity as an imposter. In response, the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, issued a statement denouncing the talented Mr. Njagi as a criminal who had committed fraud. The LSK emphasized that masqueraders pose a serious threat to the practice of law. Njagi was arrested on Wednesday and charged with 6 offenses relating to forgery and identity theft, having presented himself to the police. On Wednesday, the 18th October, the Star daily newspaper of Kenya would report that the man appeared in court after being grilled at the Directorate of Criminal Investigation in Nairobi. And right there and then, he defended himself without the need of a lawyer and still won the case. He had pleaded not guilty, bolstered by support from sections of the public who endorsed Njagi as a gutsy everyman, overcoming discriminatory barriers like qualifications to achieve true social mobility. With his successful defense, he remarkably secured his 27th wins in court, all while operating under a fake identity. After a bail fee of 200,000 Kenyan shillings was paid, the man Brian Mwenda Njagi is currently studying law to have the legal documents and requirements, at the same time working as a legal advisor. He is a masterclass, taking his deception to another level. However, stealing someone else's identity may not have been the wisest decision, as he could as well have achieved his goal through legitimate means. On the other hand, this event goes a long way in showcasing the innate talent and ingenuity that the black man possesses. This also unfolds that whatever good one is willing to become in a society, one can become by only pure devotion and passion, which sails far above the validation of traditional qualifications. There are several other cases of determined black individuals similar to Njagi's, whose unrelenting passion would not be deterred by the roadblocks of traditional validation. A remarkable example is the story of yet another black man in Kenya, Ronald Melly, who also made headlines for not only treating patients effectively, but also performing several surgeries, all of which were reportedly very successful in a hospital at Kapsabet County in Kenya without a medical degree. With more and more examples, the black man's intriguing and mind-blowing intelligence will forever be a subject of fascination and envy to many other races. Throughout history, remarkable individuals such as Imhotep, the ancient Egyptian polymath who made significant contributions to medicine, architecture, and engineering, and Madam C.J. Walker, the African-American entrepreneur who revolutionized hair care, have exemplified this intellectual prowess. Moreover, innovators like Mark E. Dean, who helped develop the International Business Machine's personal computer, and Granville Woods, who held over 60 patents in electrical engineering, demonstrate the breadth of black ingenuity. Unfortunately, many of these groundbreaking ideas have been co-opted or stolen by whites, often without proper recognition or compensation for the black nation, highlighting the complex and often fraught history of intellectual property and innovation. As the entire Brian Wenda story comes to an end, one may very well wonder, how did this enigmatic figure manage to achieve such unprecedented success? What drove him to adopt such a daring and unconventional approach to the law, while there may have been other less controversial options to take? And what would ultimately become of this courtroom sensation, whose rise to fame was matched only by the secrecy surrounding his true identity? In closing, the remarkable story of Brian Wenda Njagi serves as a testament to the power of human ingenuity, determination, and natural ability. While his methods were unorthodox and ultimately unlawful, it's impossible to deny the brilliance and strategic thinking that enabled him to succeed in a field as complex and demanding as law. Rather than simply condemning his actions, we can draw valuable lessons from Njagi's experience. His story highlights the importance of recognizing and nurturing innate talent, regardless of one's background or formal education. It also underscores the need for greater accessibility and inclusivity in the legal profession, as well as the potential benefits of alternative paths to training and certification. As we reflect on Njagi's remarkable journey, let us celebrate the creative problem-solving, quick thinking, and resilience that defined his approach. May his story inspire us to rethink our assumptions about intelligence, ability, and achievement, and to create a more inclusive and equitable society that allows everyone to thrive. This brings us to the end of yet another interesting update. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more informative contents. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button now to stay tuned for upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.